everyone, whoever is online, introduce yourselves. This is Ramanuj from Lawsico. We are going to talk about things you can do if you're struggling to get a job during the pandemic and after, in the economic difficult situation that we are facing today. So how to deal with that and how to still get a job, how to get internships, jobs, and of course, jobs are much harder to get than internships. Internships are much easier to get, but I'll focus on jobs today, and I'm going to talk about things you can do to get jobs and how the job market works right now and what the situation is really like and how to deal with it. So, hi Bhumi, where are you logging in from? Do tell us what you do. Rahul Mahajan from Delhi, 2020 law graduate. Looking forward to the session. Great, Rahul. I'm sure you'll find some solutions today if you're looking for jobs. All right. Let's start the presentation, right? All right. So 7 things you can do if you are struggling to post-COVID economy, right? Uh, so what do most people do when they do not get a job? Can anybody answer this question? So when people are not getting a job, what exactly do they do? Tell me some things in the chats quickly. If you are not getting a job, what will you do? What are the few things people do? Come on, quickly. Maybe you have done it yourself. Maybe you have seen other people doing it, right? What do people do when they are looking for a job but they are not getting it? What do they do? Nobody's saying anything. All quiet. Search for opportunities. They might do unpaid internship. Rahul is saying. Krishna Deepti Kota is saying search for opportunities. Searching for opportunities but not finding. What do they do next? Krishna. Bhumi from SRMU Lucknow. Looking forward to learn something beneficial to improve my current situation. Sure. So, Bhumi, tell me, what do people do when they don't get a job? Come on, quickly. There are so many of you. Somebody can tell me. Divya, Jagannath, Manisha, Muskan, Pranav, Shweta, you guys are all quiet. Speak up. Tell me, what do people do when they don't get a job? Yeah. Maybe learn from interviews and other online stuff. Pranav City, I look towards going for a job in call center because at the end of the day I have to earn a living, and side by side I might look for some clients. Interesting. Not a bad idea. What else? I like that, Pranav. Others, nothing to say really. Nobody's saying anything. Okay, let me tell you, right? Okay, Pranav is saying I'm a student. Okay, no problem. Let me try telling you some things that people do when they don't get a job. One thing that they do is praying and praying. First thing, this is what most people are doing. It's not a good idea, but this is what they do. What do you think? Can you guess what is praying and praying? Anybody? Can you guess? Most people get frustrated and demotivated, depressed when they don't get a job instead of finding a solution to this. So, what people do when they don't get a job is that they start sending their CV at random places, trying to contact random people and praying, right? That it's called spraying and praying. That if I send my CV to 200 places, maybe somebody will respond. And this is a terrible idea. It never works, right? It makes you more frustrated. It doesn't work. It demotivates you even further. Why? Because Rahul got it right, randomly sending CV at many places and pray to get selected. So, it's always better to identify a few specific places and work on them properly to get a job. Okay, just because you're sending it to hundreds of places, even at places which are below your expectation, maybe, doesn't mean that you will get a job. Spraying and praying is a bad strategy, but a lot of people do it. I'm talking about things that mistakes people make first, because unless you are out with the bad stuff, right? If you don't throw away the bad stuff and you keep doing the bad stuff, then even if I tell you the good stuff, you'll never have time to do the good things. Okay. So you need to stop spraying and praying, because just think about it, right? If I just keep doing things and hoping something will work, nothing will work. I need to work specifically. I need to work on. But if I work on specific things, I identify that these are the 4 places or 5 places or 20 places that I really want to work in, and there's a reasonable chance that they might hire someone right now or in the next few months. And then I strategically, there are a lot of things I can strategically do to make myself an appealing hire for those people, rather than just hoping somebody will hire me and just applying everywhere. Okay, it doesn't work. Just think about it, right? Let's say you have the spraying and praying technique. Both of us are looking for jobs. Okay, and let's say there are different firms, IP firms, M&A firms, and all within IP firms also there are different kind of uh, players focusing on different things. And then there's technology law firms, media law. Let's say there are A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, different kind of law firms, and you're applying everywhere, sending the same CV to everyone and hoping somebody will take interest. And what I am doing is that I am sending CVs specifically to technology law firms, and I'm writing articles on technology law and making my CV super refined for technology law firms, making it something very attractive to technology law firms. Who's going to get the job, right? Technology law firms will pick me because I have a CV that is better than you anytime, right? Because I have focused specifically on technology law, built a CV for technology law, and maybe because I know I want to work in a technology law firm, and I haven't even identified that these are the 4 5 places or 10 places I want to focus on. So I can start networking or connecting with the people in those law firms. I can learn more about those law firms. I can learn what is going on there. And therefore, I have a better chance of connecting with those people and successfully convincing them to hire me. So spraying and praying, and this is a very specific targeted approach. What do you think is going to win, right? So spraying and praying stops you from doing the real work. It's like living on hope, right? It's like somebody says that I'll go to Bombay and become next Shah Rukh Khan, right? And then they don't know actually what to do. They are just randomly trying things. That's not that maybe optimism, that is action, but it's not going to produce good results. Okay. Good evening, Akash. Welcome. People often become desperate after failing to get a job for a while, and that desperation can be sensed from their CV, can be desperate. The desperation can be felt from their messages, from their calls, and desperation is never good. Desperation wouldn't make people want to hire you. If you think that, oh, I am so desperate, people will take pity on me and they'll hire me, you will get pity, but you will not get a good job if you're desperate. I'll tell you a very interesting story of desperation and job interviews, right? So, what happened is that there's a senior of mine, right? Today he's very successful. He has worked in all big law firms, and right now he is the India General Counsel of a very big private equity fund. At that time, he was my senior, 1 year senior at NUHS, and he was desperate. Okay, like he was not getting jobs in any of the big law firms. So everybody's dream is to work at back then, like to work at Amarchand or Luthra or Trilegal or Khaitan, and there are like these 3 4 big law firm. JSA 5, AZB of course 6. Okay, these people pay over 1 lakh rupee salary, and everybody want to work there. Now, he was giving these interviews, and he got rejected from one after another, one after another, one after another, and he was just desperate, like what the hell is going on, like that. Okay, he can't understand like what is going on. Like, he has the marks, he has the rank, he has the CV, he has the internship experience, he's supposed to get it. Then one day he had interview with the last big law firm. Okay, everything is done, one last big law firm, and they are going to take only 2 people, and on the same day they have one more interview after that. So people who won't get selected will go for the next one. But that's not a law firm, that's a big PSU. Okay, they also pay almost the same, very well paying PSU, not as prestigious back then for somebody studying at NUJs. They wanted to go to big law firms, not to a PSU. But if he doesn't get there in the law firm, he was pretty confident he'll get at the PSU. For whatever reason, he was confident that PSU I'll get. So that day, he was relaxed. That anxiety and desperation that I'm not getting a job, what will happen to me? Is there something wrong with me? All that went away, and he cracked that interview. So I asked him that, what is the matter? You didn't crack all these interviews. Suddenly today, this law firm, other law firms are picking like 10, 7, 8, 5 at least minimum. This law firm picked only 2, and many people gave this also. Why were you so confident? He said that, first of all, the people who are ranked above me were all gone. People who were ranked below me were also mostly gone. Like, not all of them, but at least the next 5-10 ranks are gone, already hired out of the equation. Because if you get a job, then you can't sit for other job interviews. So that leaves me, and I was pretty confident that I might get it. I was not desperate this time. And I knew if I don't get this, I'll get the PSU. So I gave up. Like, I stopped being worried. So I could actually, for the first time, perform properly in the interview. Okay, this is a true story, guys. Right? Even if you will get it otherwise, if you reek of desperation, okay, it's not a nice feeling, right? Sometimes I also get calls from people who are desperate. I empathize with them, but I'm a little worried that based on their empathy, if I hire them, hiring is a big, expensive decision, right? Imagine you are buying a car. You don't do it based on, you actually research and see what is suitable for you, then you buy it, right? Now imagine somebody ends up hiring based on emotion. That hiring goes wrong. Do you know how much money you might be losing? It could be in lakhs, it could be in crores sometimes. Someone is saying that Jesus Christ, I have realized by this story that even NUJS alumnus has desperate feelings. Everyone is human being, all human beings have desperate feelings. Even the president of United States will have desperate feelings. Don't worry about that, right? But, this is just what it is. Like, if you're desperate and you're anxious, it shows in your interview. It has a very negative impact on your interview and your candidature. You will get empathy, you will get sympathy, you will get pity, but you will not get respect. What you want is that people to recognize the potential that you have. You want people to respect you for the skills that you have. But if you go there desperately, that will not happen. If you're desperate, even if you would have been successful otherwise, there are high chances you will get rejected. So keep this in mind, that desperation is like completely going to kill your interview. Okay, so keep desperation aside. You need to be not desperate. I don't know how to say this. So Akash, what is your question? Would it be settling for less, like underachieving? What do you mean? What is the question? Clarify that question. Okay, so even if you are the way to stop desperation is to take action. if you know, if you're taking action and you can see yourself making progress, if you know where are you making mistakes, so you will be desperate when you don't know why it's not working. But when you start recognizing why things are not working, and you know that if I take these steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, I was for a moment, there was some problem in the internet. I hope you guys can hear me. Okay, I'm going to share screen again. Okay, so another common problem that happens all the time is, you guys can hear me now, right? Is there a problem? You can hear me or not? Am I audible clearly? If I am audible clearly, just write yes. Okay, cool. The other thing that people do when they are not getting jobs, which you must stop doing, is blaming other people. Because if you are blaming other people, it's not going to work. Okay, why it doesn't work? Simple. What if you, when you're in blaming mode, you're essentially in the victim mode. Okay, you might blame your teachers, you might blame your college, you might blame your curriculum, you may blame the Bar Council of India, you might blame the legal system, you might blame the entire country, you might be blaming your parents, you might be blaming the caste system, you might be blaming the patriarchy, you might be blaming the world order, whatever you like. And all of it may be true, right? Maybe actually you are in a bad situation because of, some unfair act of some other person or a system for that matter, right? But if you are a victim, then the problem is that your situation is justified and you are not able to take action to get out of that. So it's a very dangerous thing not to develop a victim mindset, because if you develop a victim mindset, it robs you of a power to take action and get out of that problem, right? So, even if you are, you are in poverty. Okay, I have been in extreme poverty also at some points of time in my life. I was born also in a situation which was extremely difficult. There was a time when my parents couldn't afford electricity for that matter, or like, we really had to worry about food, simple things of life. But, and there was a time when I did not know how will I pay my college education, college fee, and how I will continue my education. But that does not mean that you can end up blaming yourself also. Like, if you start blaming people, then you are not looking for solutions, and you will not be looking for solutions because you are a victim and you have no choice, right? A victim has no power. So it is important to say, no, this is the situation. Okay, now let me see how to get out of this. Being able to stay positive and not getting bitter about the situation, not becoming despondent about the situation, not becoming depressed about the situation is very important, right? So when you say that, no, I have the power to change my situation and I can still create a positive outcome, having confidence, having self esteem that I can change this, turn this around in my favor. So there is a difficulty, but I can create an opportunity even out of this, right? If you have that kind of faith, that kind of belief system, okay, and but this and blaming others and victim mindset cannot coexist, right? You can recognize things for the way they are, but to live inside that kind of a mindset that, I mean, I have seen always people who are living in that mindset are unable to get out of it and unable to solve their problems, because it's very easy to blame others and always live in that paradigm, right? So this is another thing that happens when people are not getting jobs for a long time. They get depressed and then they fail to take care of themselves, right? They stop grooming themselves, maybe, or they may be not taking care of their physical health or mental health, right? May not be taking care of their diet or so on, right? And maybe indulging in, some kind of addiction. So these things happen when you are extremely upset about the situation that you're facing. These things can happen, but that is the other danger that you must avoid, right? It's a bullet you must dodge. It can happen. There will be temptations like this. Hard time to coping mechanisms include addiction, and you have to avoid those things, right? You have to take care of yourself very importantly in those times, especially. Okay. So another thing that I have seen, like I was just talking to somebody last week, and she was saying that what should I do? I'm thinking, should I have this master? I was not even planning to do a master degree, but I haven't got a job, and I had written CLAT LLM just like that, and now I am getting somewhere. Should I take it? And she's getting in some far-flung NLU, and there is no. It's a 1 year LLM, and she's going to have to pay some significant amount of money, right? Some 4-5 lakhs to get that, or I don't remember exactly, 3.5 lakhs, 4 lakhs, something like that, to get the LLM. And she's wondering, is it worth it? Like, if I get this LLM. So I asked her that how do you think this LLM will help you? She's like, I'll get an NLU tag. I'm like, okay, this is not one of the top 10 NLUs, not even top 20 NLUs. Like, what is just I mean, it's an NLU, but there are now some 30 NLUs in the country. I don't know exactly the number. It keeps increasing by the day. And many of these places do not even have a proper campus. It's not 22, it's more than that. I'm pretty sure. Some NLUs, some states have now 2 NLUs, 3 NLUs. Must be more. Okay. I think there are only 1 or 2 states without NLUs. So, anyway, you don't know. Tomorrow morning, you will see there is a notification from 3 more NLUs in 3 states. What do you know, right? Nobody knows. So, so this is the situation. And just if you go to that NLU, what tag, like, why do you need this tag? How is it going to help you? Like, if that is the case, then do LLM from, like, local college somewhere, local university, at least stay in a big city where you can intern around the year, or you can, go and do some part-time work on the side. So, a lot of people are doing this, that they're like, I don't know, at least, anyway, I'll be getting a LLM degree, at least something will happen. But you have to understand, like, you are not only paying the fees, you're also losing the income for that year, right? And how many master degrees will you do, right? Maybe you should wait for 3-4 years and you can do an LLM from like a good foreign university on scholarship, for all you know, right? But if you do a master degree right now, you can't do that later. So, I would say that, you need to be a little smarter. Just because you can't do anything else, to go and do a very expensive master degree, I don't support the idea. If it is cheap and it is easily getting done, I may support it. And there's no harm, at least. But if you are spending, like, your hard-earned money, your parents' hard-earned money, all the savings, and then the question is why? What are you doing? Why are you doing it? You should be clear what is the point of it, right? Then there are some people who, accept dead end jobs. I don't have a problem with low paid jobs. Sometimes low paid jobs can, actually create the way ahead for you, like create new opportunities for you. I don't mind even if you do free work for a little bit, okay? Because if that helps you to establish your credibility, build relationships based on which you can get more work later, it's great, no problem. I encourage people to go and do some free work, even when you're a student. But to do irrelevant work, which has no future for you, like, you want to be a criminal lawyer, but you're taking up a job which has no connection with that. Okay, now if you have to do it because you absolutely have to do it, like you have to make ends meet and you have to support yourself, then I don't mind. But then I would do something like what Pranav said, that okay, I accept a day job, right? Doesn't matter what you have to do. Even if you have to drive a Uber or deliver food for Zomato, it's okay. But then are you working on the side, at least taking out 2 hours to to actually work on the real thing that you want to work on, right? So this is important. So as long as you're doing, like, if you have a dream, you must pursue it at all costs, right? So if for a few hours you have to do something just to make ends meet and survive, it is absolutely fine. But do not get into jobs which have you actually are not interested in and you have no purpose. When you are driving a Uber, you know that okay, I'm driving a Uber because I have no other choice and I'm doing it for 6 hours a day or 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day so that I can actually support my family, whatever. But my dream is to be a lawyer and I'll work on the side. And I know people who are doing this and I have greatest respect for them. But if somebody accepts a job in a in a with a so-called senior who's paying them 10,000 rupees, okay, and that with that senior they are not learning anything, but they are stuck because what else can I do? I have no respect for that, because you have to get out. You have to recognize that, is this helping me, right? If it is not helping you, it has no future. Why are you there? Why are you working on that? If you are working in a job, then it should be connected somewhere with your goals, your ambition, your future, right? I know people who are working with us to learn sales at Losico because they realize that if I learn sales, it will help me in my career, it will develop my personality, it will help me to become more effective while doing business development for my own practice someday. Or there are people who are learning marketing because marketing is so powerful, and they can work on startups, they can help other businesses, and there is so much to learn about it, about content marketing, about blogging, about content creation, YouTube videos, blogging, podcasting, so many things. So as long as you have a clear goal as to why you are doing something, you know the why, right? So there's a famous book by Simon Sinek where he talks about start with why. So if your why is aligned with what you are doing, then no work is small, nothing is too bad. But if you are doing it without any plan, without any idea as to why you are doing it, and there's no connection with any ultimate purpose, then it is not worth it. To get a job in a really bad market, you have to stand out heads and shoulders above all the other applicants. Okay, I'll tell you why. What is the issue, right? So, how bad is the job market? Let us understand. When we say that the job market is bad, How bad is it? Right? So this is important to understand. So I'll tell you. So the greatest, like the worst job market in the recorded history that we know, okay, the worst was the Great Depression. During the Great Depression, generally the 15% people in USA lost their jobs. How many? 15%. Okay, that's an average because Great Depression lasted for 6 years, and some people say 9 years also, at least for 6 years. And during those 6 years, the average unemployment rate was 15%. And at the peak of it, the highest level of unemployment was 25.6%. Okay, that was the highest unemployment recorded during the Great Depression. Okay. In India, also during the lockdown, there was one point of time when it reached something like 26%, 30% also. I think, I'm not sure, somewhere in that range. But once the lockdown was lifted, things returned to normalcy. The joblessness came down. So remember that even in the worst possible market in history, only 15% people were out of job. How many? 15%. That means 85% people were in jobs. Right? 85%. We'll take that. We'll assume that it's the worst possible, that 15% people are out of job for a few years in the market, which is the worst case scenario, right? That we have known in 100 years, last 100 years, more than 100 years. Now, if that is the situation, you understand that 15% people are out of jobs doesn't mean everybody is out of job. There are enough people who have jobs, and there are enough jobs in the market, even in such a bad economy. Correct? So then what is the issue? How do you succeed in this market? Remember that there are jobs, but the rules of getting them are very different now. So fundamentally, two things change. Number one is that when the market is growing, there is a more demand for freshers. Why is there a more demand for freshers when the market is growing and the economy is expanding instead of recession? Because, let's say I have experienced people, all the experienced people in the market who are good at their job are already hired. They are already working. And then if I have enough money, I can do a talent war with other people who are employing those people and bring them in. But I don't have enough money. Then I can't engage in such a talent war. Then I try to hire fresher people and train them to build my workforce, right? That is the approach that some companies have to take. The companies which have enough money, they might do both. They might hire senior experienced people as well as try to get the most talented people coming out of the colleges, right? That is how it works during the time when the market is expanding, which is why you see all this campusing happening and all of that. But when the economy is shrinking, the situation is different. 15%, remember what we discussed, 15% of the experienced people are now out of job. So forget the new people coming into the market. 15% people who were already experienced and good are out of jobs for various reasons. In some cases, not because they are bad performers, but their previous company has gone bankrupt or shut down some branches, and they are out of jobs, right? It doesn't mean that they are necessary. Some of them are low performers, some of them are high performers. Jobs. Now, these people are first to be hired. So if a company now is looking to hire, they are not going to hire freshers who have to be trained. Their first preference will be to hire people, these experienced people, right? If I can hire them first, I'll prefer that rather than hiring people who are untrained. Okay? Now, this is to remember, right? This is one problem that a lot of freshers will face. And the second problem that happens is that in other times, when basically there's a seller's market, okay? So if the employers are the buyers of services from the employees and the employees are sellers, so when the market is expanding, it's a seller's market because there are fewer sellers and more buyers. The demand is higher, supply is lower. Or it is just about matching, or demand is increasing faster and supply is not increasing as fast. So the market is really trying to get more and more people. So what the employers are reaching out, employers are going to colleges, making presentations, right? Employers are going to recruit from campus. Employers are putting out advertisements on Naukri.com or wherever else, on newspaper or wherever, right? Now, that is not happening so much during a recessionary job market. A recessionary job market is a little different because so many people are out of jobs. Then if I have to hire somebody, it might be the case that I already know so many people who are on their own coming and approaching me, or I know some of my friends who are out of job, or I may know somebody who their work I respect and I have seen their work before. Now they are also looking for a job and I know that. So I do not really need to go out in the market and run a job advertisement. And if I did a job advertisement, then I'll get 500 applications or 5,000 applications, and sorting through all these applications, it's nearly impossible. Do you understand the situation? Right? So jobs are there, right? But people are not advertising it anymore. Even if there are jobs, feeling that vacancy is much more easier today because already we know people who are out of jobs, and people, to find somebody through a network is much easier. So if I am hiring somebody from marketing, I can just ask people in my marketing team, do you know a good, let's say, content writer, somebody whose work you really like? Let's hire that person. And they will know people, yeah, my friend is out of job. This happens, right? So employers during the normal markets are advertising, trying to find talent, doing outreach, and recessionary job market, they are not doing. So even if there are inevitably vacancies, and those vacancies are not getting advertised. So the people who are not part of these networks, they don't have a way to apply for these jobs, right? This is a big problem. So what is important here? What do you learn from this? That the rules have changed and you need to understand the rules now. Number one is that even if you're a fresher, you are competing with more senior people. Even if you have 1 year experience, you are competing with people with 10 years experience. Even if you have 2 years experience, you are competing with people with 10 years experience. And those people are ready to take a pay cut. If the 10-year guy is ready to work for the salary of the 5-year experienced guy, 5-year experienced guy is ready to take a further pay cut and work for the pay of the second 2-year experienced guy, 3-year experienced guy. And there is a downward pressure. So it is not only that you're willing to work for less money is enough here. You really have to offer something special to the employer that, look, I am not like the other people. I'm not a commodity. I am not just like another person looking for a job desperately, but I have something to bring on the table, something special, something good, something out of the ordinary that will make a difference in your business. So if you can go and promise that, if you can deliver that result, if you can develop those abilities, so now your abilities matter, your talent matters, your credibility matters, your track record matters, and you need to put in the hard work to stand out, because most people don't do that work, trust me, right? So that you have to do, number one. Number two is important to be part of those networks, because that is how jobs will not get advertised. The best jobs never get advertised, even in a good market. But at least some job gets advertised during the expansionary market when the economy is growing. Okay, but other times, like time like this, recession time, recessionary job market, advertising will not happen. You have to be part of networks to get jobs. Okay, now whether you like it, don't like it, you think this is unfair, whatever, doesn't really matter. Second thing, that because you have to stand out, what we said is that you really stand out. So specialized is better when standing out is so important, right? Specialized is better. So we talked about spraying and praying, it doesn't work. Now imagine that we know that there is a demand today for lawyers who are good at data regulations or data privacy, right? Now imagine that there is a demand for that, right? Now imagine that you specialize in that. You become really good at that, or you become really good at technology contracts, which is a demand. Tech industry is growing even now, right? Tech industry is hiring even now. So you identify that there is a demand in a certain sector, and if you specialize in that, even if there is a demand is not growing in a sector, but supply is, let's say there is demand is low, doesn't matter. But if you're really, really good, if you're one of the top 1% in that market looking for a job, you will still get a job. So specialized is better, and it is easier for you to become very good at one small area, but to become good at everything is very hard. No brainer, right? To become good in 10 areas, very hard. To become very good in one small narrow area, especially an area where others do not have enough knowledge, where others also do not have experience, because it's a new area, for you to specialize and become one of the best in that area will take less time, less effort. Okay, can be still substantial effort, but less than in an area which is like there are people practicing there for decades. But that's not the case with new areas, right? Technology contracts or GDPR or these things have just come up. GST, for that matter, rather new. So RERA, appellate tribunal, rather new. So whatever is new, other people also have not been having so much experience there. You have an advantage that you can specialize, okay, and you can become better than others, and you can create a track record which is best in the market or very good in the market for that matter, right? So specialization is even more important in a recessionary job market. Choosing a niche, okay, very important. Choose a niche that will work for you, something that you're passionate about, but at the same time that has a demand in the market. If you know, it's important there should be a demand in the market, especially in a time like this. But choose your niche. So if you have decided I'm going to specialize, then what area are you going to specialize in? And that is very, very important. A lot of how your career shapes up will depend on that. And once you choose a niche, it's not just you start reading about it. You have to do more. You have to start building relationships. You have to come to get to know people in that niche who are doing well. You have to understand what is the services that clients want, what is the services that is being provided, where is a shortfall, what are the unsolved problems of clients that they are having a problem about. They're ready to pay for solving those problems, but somewhere the rest of the practitioners are falling short in solving those problems. Okay, this is very important. The other thing is, like I said, you will not even find out about the best opportunities unless you are part of these networks. So there are people, you have to know people. You have to know people from beforehand. So I'm just saying that if you have chosen your niche, you're specialized in something, you've started building a track record in something, you probably have a sense that, okay, I want to work in media law. Now, how many companies or how many law firms are there that employ lawyers with the skills of media law? Not too many. Okay. Now, if you find out who they are, if you find out who the important partners are, who are the important thought leaders in that area, you start talking to them, you start writing articles, you start sharing with them, you start commenting on their posts, for that matter, on their social media posts, and you you even go and meet them if possible, if the situation permits. You can organize events for them, you can start assisting them with their problems. So for example, you can help them to start a podcast or a YouTube channel or I don't know, a Instagram channel for that matter, right? And you can help them to organize webinars. I don't know, like, you have to figure out how you can help them, right? You have to get on their radar, right? You have to get noticed by them. You have to be able to assist them in ways that they recognize your potential, right? So when you add value to other people, networking is not just adding people on LinkedIn or exchanging uh, business cards. It is actually adding value to other people in a memorable way that it impacts them and they remember you, and they also want to add value to you because you're adding value to them. So this is networking, and it's very important that you start doing that if you want to beat this recessionary job market. Building a track record, right? Building a track record includes writing articles. You can make your own videos and publish them. You can, if somebody or some of you want to make videos on YouTube channel of Law Sikho, you are welcome. We have almost 40,000, I think 38,000 something followers on our YouTube channel, and you can publish your videos and get the benefit of their audience. And definitely there are so many other things you can do. You should attend webinars, you should attend events related to those topics. You should do things that really you know in that area. So if you have chosen technology law, then you spend at least a few hours a day pursuing technology law in some way or the other, right? And create more and more footprints and track records. You can help technology startups for free. You can intern with them. You can do whatever possible to build a track record so that you get an experience of technology law in whichever form possible for you. Past associations really matter at this time, right? So remember that you have gone to college with people, you have gone to school with people, and some of them might be needing a technology lawyer today or media lawyer, I don't know, or maybe a divorce lawyer, whatever. There are people who know you, and there are people in your past, your relatives. Most of the time people are looking, maybe you're good at cyber law and not even your neighbors know that you're good at cyber law, not even your relatives know that you're actually pursuing cyber law. So this is the problem, and people who already know you can promote you, can spread the word about you, can connect you with opportunities which you otherwise will not know about. So it's important to be in touch with people who are already from your past, who trust you, who like you, who would be happy to help you. There are many such people in our lives, and past associations that you had. Maybe you had worked somewhere before, interned somewhere before, your previous colleagues, previous bosses. All those past associations will really matter. Okay. Now, the other problem is that people come to interview. Even if, say, you have gotten to the interview stage, do not be the candidate whose only argument is that I will work very hard, sir. I will work very hard. No, no, no. Everyone says I will work very hard in the interview, but it is important that you can show them that how you are going to benefit them, right? If they're hiring someone, they must be having a problem that they're trying to solve. They must be having a job, something they want to achieve, some results they want to achieve. Try and understand what results do they want to achieve. If they hired people previously in the same position, what was their experience? What is a good experience? Was it bad experience? If it was bad experience, why was it bad? What was the other guy doing wrong? If it was good experience, what was the other guy doing right? And giving the assurance to the recruiter that I will deliver results. You can give the job to me, and then you don't have to worry. I am here to take care of everything. Once you hire me, I am here to take care of your problems. You don't have to worry. The day you can say that, you have arrived, right? That is half the battle won, more than half the battle won. People would want to hire you because you are telling them, don't worry, I am here. From here, it's my headache. And you are able to deliver. Of course, if you're not able to deliver after that, you'll get fired, right? Very soon. But this is important that people get the confidence by, it's like a doctor who talks to you and you already feel better. You need to be that person in the interview. Okay. Uh, hmm. Okay, so that's the end of my slides, guys. So I am happy to take questions now. It's 9:57 already. So what I would say to conclude with all this is that it's not an easy position to be in when you are looking for a job during the recession and you are not finding. But remember that economy it's a cyclical thing, and there would be a change in the economy, right? It will go back to an expansionary mode. The point is that people who are really good at their work, they are always in demand, more in demand during times like this, because you know during the expansionary time businesses are so desperate to hire a lot of times that they will be okay to hire a sub per person and hope that इसको train करके बना लेंगे, or maybe he'll be able, if I give him a chance, maybe he'll be able to do it. But when they are in a recession, they are more worried and they are only looking for top performers. They are not going to hire a sub per person. They're not going to hire a person who might join and fail. They are looking to hire people who will definitely succeed. So this is a time when you need to show up in interviews, when you need to show up in uh, when you apply, you need to know that I am the right person, I can deliver results, and there will be no mistake, and I can prove it to them in the interview. I can demonstrate why am I the right person, that you will never find somebody better than me for this job. And you have to prepare that much and go. The problem with people why they don't get jobs is that they do not prepare for that job. If they prepare for that job, they will get the job. They will fire the current guy who's not performing and hiring. There are always some people in a company who are not performing as well as they should be. And if you're so good, they'll let go of some people and hire you. That is the truth. If you can actually establish to them that you are so good, but how do you establish that you are so good, right? And that's the challenge, guys, right? You have to show people why you are so good, that it is worth giving you that opportunity. Okay. So any questions I can answer, happy to answer. Otherwise, we can end the session here. Bunch of questions. Please take a webinar on how to write plagiarism pre-articles. Okay, great, Pranav. I'll do that. Muskan, how can one follow up after applying for a job, say at an arbitration firm? How should one go about following up regarding their job application? Just patiently follow up. Do not say, sir, I was waiting for your reply, you didn't reply. That's not going to work. Okay. It's very bad. It will create bad relationships. You send a very kind and gentle follow up. Sir, I was hoping you have taken a look at my uh, uh, this thing, and did you have a look again after, and don't follow up like 5 times in a week, but twice a week is okay, once a week is okay. And very gentle follow up, gentle follow up, gentle follow up, gentle follow up, and keep applying to more places. But the way to get attention, see, just don't apply and sit. What about you? Let's say you apply to an arbitration law firm, like you're saying. Is that arbitration law firm working on some important cases, like some important cases happening in Delhi High Court, Supreme Court? Now, what are those cases about? Are there important questions of law that they're dealing with? Write some articles. Instead of sending a dry follow-up, send this article to them and say that I have written it. I thought you might like it. Okay. It alerts them that, oh, this person is writing articles on the same thing that we are arguing. And then they can judge you that are your arguments good? So it creates an impression, right? So, Muskan, don't just sit and send dry replies. Be creative, do things that will get their attention, will show your merit as well at the same time. That's important. All right. Akash Sharma has no questions. And any of you, any questions, let me know. Also, let me know from 0 to 10, 0 being pathetic and 10 being absolutely best. How much will you score me, right? So how good was this session? Anything I can improve? Please let me know. That'll be great. Okay. Wonderful library in the background. It's my sister's workspace that I'm speaking from today. She has a good library. Then I'll check out the books. But it's easy to find good books. Go find one if you want. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. Hope you have a great weekend. It's a festive weekend. Wish you guys a great fantastic uh, festival. All the best. I am in Calcutta. Yes. All the best, guys. Take care. Thank you very much.